Hello to all. The sermon I'm about to read to you is taken from www.satan.org, which is written by High Priestess Maxine. Death, Hell, and the Afterlife. Many people are understandably frightened in regards to hell, being a place of torture, internal damnation, and fiery torment. Personally, since coming to Satan, I have extensively experienced both in working with human souls who have passed from this earth and in seeing Satan's hell, which is a safe place for the souls who are there. In contrast to souls who go to the light when leaving their physical bodies through death, Satan is responsible and protective. He sends demons to escort satanic souls to hell. This is to ensure these souls will be protected from the light, which is of the enemy. In addition to working with many different demons, Satan has had me work with human spirits. Though their physical bodies are dead, thought their physical bodies are dead, they are very much alive and do not like being referred to as dead. I am talking to those of importance in hell. Most spirits who have resigned in hell have reincarnated. Some are still there for specific reasons. I can tell you, Satan's hell is not some place of fire and brimstone, but a safe haven for souls who are of Satan. There is another place, the Christian hell, where Christians believers who fall short wind up. This is where the horror stories come from, and angels have taken some unfortunate individuals on a personal tour of this, as they are human hating. This place of torment is not of Satan, but is and was created by the Judeo-Christian God. Those who tie into Christian beliefs and energies are all vulnerable. Matthew 25:41. Then shall he say also unto them on the left hand, Depart from me, ye cursed, into everlasting fire, prepared for the devil and his angels. A truth regarding the light seen by many in that and with near-death experiences can be explained. The following quote, taken from the Luciferian Liberation Front website article Jesus Borg, is quite accurate in many respects. Human souls are harvested by advanced extraterrestrials for energy. These souls are judged according to how malleable they are. With any powers of the mind, energy must conform to the will of the operator in order for the workings to be effective. Any resistance makes the soul unfit. Many believers who are deemed unfit are cast into torture and damnation. Quote, when we dissect the cube of heaven, we see that it is constructed like a living cell with its own system of energy, circulation, and metabolism. From all appearances, it is a giant solar battery generator which allows the one mind of the collective God to be able to feed off the life essence of the enslaved souls held within its temple pillars and redirect their energies according to the will of the One. When a human being dies, his life essence, spirit, or soul is scanned by the soul collectors who patrol the dimension between physical time, space, and the thinner dimension of subspace, and these collectors project an image before the just decayed soul of a life from that will be recognizable to the decays, such as a relative or friend who had died before they had a grandmother, a religious figure, etc. In this manner, the soul collector is able to get the newly decayed soul to lower his defenses. The collector takes on the role of guide and attempts to lead the soul to the gates of the holding ship. In this holding ship, the spirit essence of the dead person is scanned again to determine its degree of purity of energy, its lack of resistant character traits, and its potential to provide nourishment to the collective mind of God. This potential is based on the degree that this spirit has been subdued through fear and dependence of how effective religious programming had been on the soul during its physical lifetime. Those spirits which have little or no self-will and have been sufficiently programmed to serve God during their lives will have the highest nourishment potential. End of quote. This topic, understandably, has come up many times in all of the groups. The Christian concept of hell. There have been cases of certain individuals who have seen horrors and such from near-death experiences and related. Some of these people had ties to angels who showed them this sort of thing as well. This is of the Christian God and has nothing to do with Satan. Most stories of hell, such as in the story of Dante's Inferno, are guided by an angel. Now, when I say Christian God, this term is a collective label for the human-hating entities out there who have been exploiting humanity using their invented Christian religion as a tool. Long before photography was readily available and knowledge of extraterrestrials was made public, oculist Lester Crowley drew a picture of Jehovah, and the image was of a great extraterrestrial. The Greys hate humanity. Not to get into a rehash of what is already on the Joy of Satan website, my point in making this post is to reassure people regarding hell. Knowing the truth is very important, when you open your mind through power meditation, you will see more and more truths. The enemy does have rotten places for human souls who fall into their traps. This has nothing to do with Satan. Things are backwards, just as the Jews, who are of the enemy at the soul, accuse the blame Gentiles for everything they themselves do. In order to create a distraction and diversion and to confuse, this bleeds over into a much larger area in the way of what Christianity does. Everything the Christians are and do, they blame upon Satan. I have heard Christians ad nauseam go on and on about how the devil hates humanity, was a murderer and a liar from the beginning, is all about materialism, works to prevent humanity from achieving everlasting life and immortality. The list of bullshit goes on, and in reality, this all applies to Jehovah, their God. One only needs to look to all of the murders and the endless lies and the genocide of Gentile nations in the Old Testament of the Bible. In addition, the Nazarene, which in reality was stolen from a concept, was invented into a fictitious Jewish character for the purpose of creating another distraction and deception, so that the concept is devoid of its spiritual message, so that anyone who follows this icon on the cross will never perform the magnum opus and achieve immortality. Christians keep compulsive parroting Jesus loves you, when the real truth is Jesus hates you. Jesus hates humanity. Jesus is nothing more than a subliminal tool on sharing in the Jewish Messiah. If enough people believe in this second coming and put their psychic energies into it, the ruling clique needed to unite the Jews of the world will appear on the scene and enslave every Gentile under the most heinous and brutal conditions, and to keep the deluded from spiritual knowledge, advancing their souls and achieving everlasting life, immortality. Jesus also serves as a distraction so that believers never meditate or do anything to advance their souls. The deluded believe Jesus will take care of everything and that Jesus saves, when in truth we all save our own souls, given we have the knowledge and that we apply it. Those who are denied this knowledge and do not meditate will die and be reincarnated over and over, damned into repeating the same mistakes and totally at the mercy of their destiny. Try running this by Christians. They keep parroting the devil deceives, when in truth it is their own God. And this so-called God of theirs is afraid of humanity obtaining knowledge and spiritual power, is threatened by our physical nudity, loves you so much he will damn you to a fiery pit to burn for all eternity. Hardly our Creator. Everything the Christians accuse the devil of is really their own God. This is their deception. He deceived the masses. Now, getting back to those near-death experiences and such, Lilith told me something very enlightening. She told me that those who have had strong ties to Christianity in their past lives are very open to the enemy. Even if someone is not religious, an atheist or an agnostic, if there is a strong essence of Christianity on that person's soul from former lifetimes, it is an opening for the enemy to manipulate him or her in this lifetime. Not that those who have had frightening experiences run straight back to the enemy. The enemy will use the individual for an example into scaring others and in many other ways. Many of us have been with Satan from centuries of past life. I asked her about myself and she replied to me, "You have always rejected Christianity." Because of the systematic removal of spiritual knowledge, few of us are really open and aware to what is on our own soul and the soul of others, regardless of where one's soul was at its former lifetimes. When one performs the dedication to Satan, this is very real and permanent. Christian sacraments such as baptism, confirmation, and such are false and non-binding. Satanic sacraments are real. Some people have a harder time than others do in coming to Satan. For those of us who have been with him through all of our lifetimes, coming to Satan is like a duck coming to water, a bird flying free. It feels so perfect. There is nothing conflicting. Some of us, myself included, when first opening to Satan and studying Satanism, have felt a beautiful, comforting, warm glow of energy surrounding us. People who have anxiety more than likely have past life issues with Christianity and or other false programs of the enemy. These need to be overcome, and performing the dedication is the first step. As once one dedicates one's soul to Satan, this is permanent. Close associations with the enemy in past lives, such as one being a devout Christian, this can be even worse if the past lives were many, has made one's soul very open to the influence of the enemy, host, so to speak. The enemy then uses certain individuals for their own nefarious purposes. Some people have a more difficult time in coming to Satan than others, but those who have found the truth and who are sincere can overcome any obstacles. Key indications that one was with Satan in past lives are a very strong desire to be with him again, a higher than average interest in the occult, witchcraft, and the power of the mind and soul, and a very positive feeling when studying true Satanism and in knowing Satan. Many of us have powers and knowledge that have come from past lives. I have learned much about the soul, as I have had the privilege of working directly with a few human spirits who are of major importance to Satan. They do not like to be called dead. They are very much alive, alert, and aware, with their same personalities, character traits, likes, dislikes, emotions, and everything else they were in their physical lives here. The only thing is they do not have a physical body yet. Reincarnation is not the only way one can obtain a physical body. Most people reincarnate because those souls who are without a body do not eat, they do not sleep, and basically they stagnate. It is very boring for them. The soul can enter the body of a living being, as the one I have been working with does with me, and enjoy physical pleasures such as eating and touching different things and anything else physical. The soul by itself is also able to feel sexual orgasm. Sexual orgasm is not only physical but is also spiritual, as when orgasm occurs the chakras open, and this is one of the main reasons that Christian churches are and always have been against sexual pleasure. It is a spiritual thing, not physical, that they are against, and as they work to destroy all spirituality. Also, one does not obtain power through or after one's physical death. We take ourselves with us, our personalities, our abilities, and one's spiritual power. Hell is dimly lit, from what I have seen of it. Lilith told me this is for two reasons. One being to protect the souls who are there, and for another, light is power. Satan's side has been deprived of power. They lost a battle through thought, not the war. The experiences in that are highly individual. People who are vulnerable to the enemy, as I wrote off in the above, are at the mercy of the enemy. All of this has to do with past and present lives. There are others who, for whatever reason, often an important issue, refuse to move on and remain as ghosts and stay here on earth. As I wrote of before in a sermon on ghosts, there are often serious and unresolved issues, such as one being murdered and others not knowing, one's corpse not being properly buried, and such, as it matters to the individual. Others just go to the astral. Much has to do with one's spiritual beliefs, if any, as one ties into corresponding energies. Satan protects those who are dedicated. The goals of spiritual Satanism is physical and spiritual perfection and immortality, so you don't have to die and reincarnate and forget everything you learned in this life all over again. Satan takes care of his own. I ask a very important human spirit of whom I had been working with what happened when he died, after he fell to the floor following his swallowing of a kyanite capsule. He told me four of our gods showed up, took his astral hand, lifted him from his body and took him to hell, where others he knew who had passed on were already there, and where he has been secure, safe, and very protected. Another very important person's spirit, who also swallowed kyanite, was escorted this way. The very important spirits have been segregated as they are given extra protection. A woman that a family member of mine worked with related her fear years ago concerning her husband seeing demons on his deathbed. There were the messenger demons, the gargoyle types, and he was frightened. Again, at some point in a past life, his soul was of Satan, and Satan took responsibility for him. These demons are there for the protection of the satanic souls, to ensure they are not abducted by the enemy by going to the light. An essence is like a trance of energy, left behind as with a violent death, so-called haunted houses and that sort of thing. An essence is just an energy. An essence does not have a personality, emotions, or awareness. I have seen Jew-lying filth teaching that those who have passed on are empty shells. Nothing could be furthermore from the truth. Thanks to this sort of thing and the Christian churches, which are their major tool, many of those who have passed on are forgotten by their families and survivors due to spiritual knowledge being systematically removed. Survivors visit the empty corpses at the grave sites and don't know how to contact and communicate with their loved ones on the other side who haven't reincarnated yet. The physical body is dead, but the soul lives on and is not dead in any way. As for endless questions concerning suicide should be a totally last resort, as many problems can be overcome through meditation and directing one's energies. There are certain cases where suicide is the only answer, such as facing torture or worse, where there is no other way out possible. The powers of hell want us to live. The enemy tries to get people to commit suicide. The experiences in the above article are not just my own, but of the other dedicated Satanists who have also confirmed their own experiences regarding hell and working with those who have passed on and are now in spirit form. Satan never murdered anyone. Satan never lied to anyone. Satan accepts you as you are and does not hate human nature. Satan rules over what is called the occult, which is completely spiritual. Satan gives us the knowledge and does not fear human spiritual advancement. Satan does not fear humanity. Thank you for listening, and hail